You decide to accidentally post pictures, look at this, of your husband having an argument with the nanny on your wedding day. Then what more is there to do?
Meghan Markle continues to botch her business ventures, with as ever and one-off being key among them, of course.
I am a wealthy woman, and therefore you should want to buy my products. A lack of as ever penetrating the market organically.
As usual, Meghan reveals to us how wonderfully modest she is.
If you are going to make a candle that smells like your children, first of all, hello, pedo bait. Second of all, they merged the Queen when she came out with Princess Lilibet candle.
Oh God, when everything is spiraling out of control when only 10 people have turned up to your key speech, what more is there to do than yet another disastrous advertising post making zero sense, but showing that you are, these days, pretty damn crazy.
What changed the whole conversation around Prince Harry and that wedding hallway moment wasn't just the memory. It was the way Meghan Markle reshared it, like it meant something bigger than anyone expected. Meghan Markle, in this online storm, ended up reposting a wedding image that instantly pulled people back into old debates and unfinished stories that the internet never really let go of. Her post looked like every other carefully planned upload from her page, clean, polished, heavily filtered, and clearly designed to remind everyone of that royal era spotlight she once stood inside. At first glance, nothing seemed unusual at all. Just another nostalgic royal wedding throwback crafted for engagement and attention. But then, people online started doing what they always do best.
The problem I feel is that we are just getting now catastrophic error after catastrophic error. I mean, the wedding day pictures, okay, you could argue, well, we're showing a different side. It's sort of a little bit Kardashian-like. I mean, I personally hated it, thought it was really vulgar. She didn't realize, Paula, is that she had posted a picture never seen before, which included a very awkward dialogue that Prince Harry was having. This was exposed by, according to Taz, who revealed this was an odd photo to post. Harry looks like he's in a heated exchange with Catherine and Prince William's nanny, Maria. The little children look wary of Harry, so that backs this theory up. I know Charlotte and George were removed from the procession after Harry and Meghan's vows. Given how Meghan looked at Charlotte and how she reportedly behaved towards her, I'm not surprised Catherine protected her babies.
They started zooming in hard, looking closer, digging for details that were never meant to be noticed in the first place. And that's when everything supposedly shifted in tone, according to online chatter and commentary exploding across social platforms. Hidden among the familiar wedding visuals was one image that many claimed they had never seen before, showing Prince Harry mid-conversation, jaw tight, caught in a tense-looking moment beside a woman in a navy suit. The woman in the frame wasn't smiling or reacting dramatically. She just stood firm, steady, and composed like someone used to holding her ground in serious situations. That woman was identified online as Maria Teresa Turallo, the Wales family nanny, a figure known in royal circles for her long-term care and protection of the children. She's widely described in commentary as someone deeply trusted by Catherine, present since Prince George's early days, and known for her extremely private life, with almost no public interviews at all.
I'd take a guess this was before the official portraits and Meghan sent Harry to ask for George and Charlotte. It's definitely not a sweet or romantic photo, so makes you wonder the purpose of including it. Harry looks like he's been a jerk and Meghan overseeing her handiwork. We know, Paula, there was a huge amount of tension at that time between the two couples, William and Catherine, and Harry and Meghan, specifically over the use of the children, and specifically Charlotte, really, on the wedding day, because she had been in tears and Meghan had treated her really appallingly.
Some online discussions even mention that she received recognition from the late Queen for her dedication, adding even more weight to her presence in that moment being analysed. Behind her in that same image, viewers pointed out the children positioned slightly back, with Princess Charlotte, very young at the time, partially hidden behind the nanny's body. That detail sparked heavy interpretation online, with people insisting the body language looked uneasy, tense, and emotionally charged in a way that raised questions. The nanny, in this interpretation, appeared positioned like a barrier, someone physically placing herself between the children and whatever interaction was unfolding. And that's where the online theories started to spiral, turning a simple candid hallway shot into something people began calling symbolic and loaded with meaning. Because according to these discussions, Maria Turallo is not someone who steps in casually. She's described as someone who only intervenes when situations become genuinely concerning for the children. That alone fueled speculation about what was actually being said or happening in that moment inside the corridor of a major royal wedding day. People online started asking what kind of exchange could make a child step back and a nanny stand so firmly in place without hesitation or visible softness.
This is just another mistake because Meghan isn't actually properly considering what she's doing. A bit like how she was pictured with that Finnish politician who has been accused of racism and sexism.
Honestly, Dan, I think the whole thing was a big mistake. What she should have done is just put one photo. But unfortunately, we know from Meghan, she really likes to ram the point home with everything. And more is better when actually less is better. You know, it's funny because she does have this minimalist idea about herself, but the amount of photos that she put just made her really look like kind of an insane narcissist. There were a lot of just her.
The conversation then shifted into broader wedding day recollections that have circulated for years through rumor channels and anonymous palace commentary. Some online claims suggest that tension existed behind the scenes during fittings and preparations, with disagreements allegedly escalating into emotional moments. These claims, widely unverified and heavily debated, include mentions of heated interactions in private rooms, emotional distress among staff, and confusion during key wedding preparations. In those same narratives, Princess Charlotte is often mentioned as being caught in the middle of adult tensions she was far too young to understand. Some commentators even repeat the claim that she was not initially intended to be part of the bridal party, a rumor that has circulated repeatedly in online royal discussions. According to that same set of claims, it was allegedly only after external pressure or intervention from senior royal figures that her role in the ceremony was finalized. These details are widely discussed online but remain unconfirmed, yet they continue fueling the emotional framing of that hallway image.
And that one photo that you were just talking about is such a bad mistake. I get why you think it is what you think it is, but I think it was just her overlooking it because as maniacal as she is or claims to be about details, I think she skipped it. I think she was like, this is me. I think she was only looking at herself.
No, I actually do think there is a strong argument for that because it's happening now across the board, isn't it? We see lots of errors being made, and it's because she just doesn't have the staff. She can't afford to pay for the staff.
When people revisit the photo now, they layer all those narratives on top of it, turning a frozen moment into a story filled with assumed conflict and hidden meaning. Harry's expression in the image is described by viewers as tense or agitated, though interpretations vary wildly depending on who is analyzing it. The nanny's position becomes the focal point for many theories, seen as a protective stance that suggests something needed to be controlled or contained. And the children's body language, especially Princess Charlotte, partially stepping back, is being interpreted in emotional terms by online commentators searching for patterns. That's why some people online have gone as far as calling it a silent snapshot of tension, even though nothing in the image directly confirms that framing. From there, the discussion escalated into much larger speculation about the dynamics of public perception and long-running narratives surrounding the couple. Some commentators claim that Meghan has, over the years, been very intentional about what she documents publicly, suggesting a long digital trail of curated moments. They argue that in modern celebrity culture, every photo becomes part of a larger archive that can later be reinterpreted depending on context and timing. According to these theories, nothing posted is ever random, and everything is seen as part of a wider narrative strategy. That leads into heavier claims circulating online about image control, public sympathy, and how different portrayals shape audience perception over time. Some users even argue that certain public appearances and photos are used to influence how audiences emotionally interpret relationships and roles within the couple. These interpretations remain speculative, but they continue spreading across comment sections and discussion threads. Then the conversation jumps again, this time toward broader controversies and public appearances that some claim are being used to shift attention away from earlier online backlash. One of the major talking points in these discussions is a recent speaking engagement in Geneva connected to global health discussions and public appearances with international officials. According to viral online commentary, attendance at that event was unexpectedly low, with claims circulating that only a very small group was physically present. Some posts describe the setting as unusually empty, comparing it to a near-deserted venue rather than a packed global stage. A particular viral moment shows a passerby in the background, distracted and disengaged, which internet users quickly turned into a meme-like symbol of the event. The outfit worn during the appearance was also heavily discussed online, with claims of high-value styling that contrasted sharply with the reported turnout. Afterwards, social media users quickly labeled the moment with phrases suggesting embarrassment or public relations failure, amplifying the narrative further. From there, attention shifted again toward how public figures respond to viral criticism and how quickly narratives change direction online. Some commentators claimed that following the Geneva event, there was a sudden surge of nostalgic or emotional content posted online, including wedding-related imagery. In these discussions, the timing of posts is seen as strategic rather than spontaneous, designed to redirect public focus. One of the most viral talking points involved a claimed travel-related anecdote involving a British Airways flight, where a handwritten style card was shared online. According to circulating commentary, the card was presented as a surprise gesture from crew members, though skeptics immediately questioned its authenticity. Frequent flyers and online users quickly debated whether such gestures are standard practice or part of curated storytelling. And that debate itself became another layer in the wider internet narrative machine, where every detail gets dissected, reinterpreted, and pushed into larger theories. Even the smallest detail, like timing, tone, or background presence in a photo, gets pulled into expanding speculation threads that grow far beyond the original image. That's why this entire situation continues circulating, because it blends real imagery, public posts, and heavy interpretation into one constantly evolving online conversation full of tension, claims, and unanswered questions. What really flipped the narrative on that so-called British Airways anniversary moment was the fact that airline etiquette doesn't work the way most people assumed it did at all. British Airways has indeed been known to provide anniversary or celebration cards, but the key detail people online started pointing out is that these gestures are typically arranged in advance by the passenger themselves. That means the whole moment isn't some spontaneous surprise from a crew member at all. It's usually a pre-planned interaction, carefully set up before the flight even takes off. In this version of events being circulated online, the passenger is the one who requests the card, organizes the timing, and coordinates how and when it will be presented. They even often bring the card on board themselves, handing it over so the crew can sign it as a polite courtesy, rather than initiating anything independently. That small detail alone changed how viewers interpreted the entire anniversary story, shifting it from sweet surprise to something more staged and controlled in appearance. Then things got even more chaotic when online viewers started zooming in on the actual signatures inside the card. looking for anything that didn't belong. One signature in particular quickly went viral because it appeared to clearly read Richie Rich, which immediately sparked confusion and mockery across social media. People online pointed out that Richie Rich is widely known as a cartoon character, not a real cabin crew member, which fueled the idea that something about the card didn't add up. From there, commentary exploded with claims that the signatures looked rushed, inconsistent, or possibly even filled in under unclear circumstances. Some users suggested it looked less like a carefully prepared crew tribute and more like a last-minute prop assembled for presentation. That interpretation led to even more speculation that the entire moment might have been orchestrated rather than organically gifted. And while none of these claims have been officially confirmed, the online discourse quickly turned it into another viral talking point about authenticity and image control. But the controversy didn't stop at the card itself. It expanded into a much larger conversation about public support networks and visible friendships. Observers began asking a pointed question: who actually publicly acknowledged Meghan's anniversary that week? The answer circulating online was blunt and widely repeated. Very few people from her once high-profile celebrity circle made any public mention at all. Names that once dominated wedding headlines and royal-adjacent narratives were suddenly absent from the conversation entirely. Oprah Winfrey, Serena Williams, George and Amal Clooney, Priyanka Chopra, James Corden, Idris Elba, figures once associated with strong public ties, were all noted for their silence in this particular moment. This silence became the focus itself, with online commentators treating it as meaningful rather than incidental, because these are individuals who are often vocal on social media, frequently posting tributes, celebrations, and public messages for a wide range of people. Serena Williams, for example, is often seen celebrating athletes and acquaintances publicly, which made her absence stand out to observers. The Clooneys, similarly, are known for hosting and attending high-profile events with frequent public acknowledgement of friends. Oprah, too, is frequently described online as someone who publicly praises people across industries and personal circles. So when none of these figures posted anything about the anniversary, online discussions quickly framed it as noticeable distance rather than coincidence. Some commentators took it further, suggesting that over time the once visible social circle has become increasingly quiet or disconnected. In contrast, the only visible anniversary acknowledgement being widely discussed was the airline card moment itself, which fueled even more debate. Critics online framed this contrast as symbolic, arguing it shows a shrinking public network rather than an expanding one. That narrative then spiraled into broader claims about isolation, shifting friendships, and changing dynamics within elite social circles. Some users even speculated about past collaborations and appearances being re-evaluated through a more critical lens. Then the discussion shifted again, this time toward long-running rumors about strained relationships behind the scenes. Certain online claims suggest that friendships formed during earlier high-profile years have gradually cooled, faded, or become purely private. Serena Williams was mentioned in some commentary threads as having been pulled into promotional activity she allegedly didn't fully enjoy. The Clooneys were also described in rumor circles as having gradually stepped back from public association over time. Tyler Perry's name was brought into discussion as well, particularly in relation to past hospitality and support during transitional periods. None of these claims are independently verified, but they continue circulating in online spaces where speculation often grows faster than confirmation. From there, the narrative took another turn into lifestyle and property commentary, where attention shifted toward their Montecito residence. Online commentators began dissecting the home's aesthetic, focusing heavily on design choices that they framed as outdated or unusual for a high-profile couple. Some described the kitchen in exaggerated terms, comparing its color scheme and layout to outdated commercial or fast food-style interiors. The phrase Taco Bell kitchen started circulating online as a sarcastic label used to mock the visual design being discussed. Others described it in even more dramatic comparisons, suggesting it looked like a space untouched by modern luxury renovation trends. In Montecito, where luxury homes are often renovated extensively and frequently updated, this lack of visible redesign became a talking point in itself. Commentators noted that in such wealthy communities, remodeling is often treated like a status symbol or ongoing lifestyle habit. So the fact that the home allegedly hasn't seen major visible updates in years became part of the broader narrative being constructed online. Even the history of the property itself entered the conversation, with claims about previous ownership and past controversies being repeatedly referenced. Some online discussions linked the home to a previous owner described in rumor threads as a controversial or troubled figure. These details, while heavily circulated, are part of online storytelling rather than confirmed reporting. Yet they still shape perception in viral discussions. And as the commentary builds, the framing becomes less about the physical house itself and more about what people think it represents. A symbol of image versus reality, of curated public life versus private stability, all layered together in a constantly evolving online narrative. That's why this entire segment continues to spread, because every detail, from a signature on a card to a kitchen backsplash, gets absorbed into a much larger story people are trying to construct online. What really set this latest wave of Meghan-related commentary on fire was the claim that her newest as ever promo wasn't even filmed in her real home at all. It was allegedly shot somewhere completely different to keep up appearances. According to circulating Hollywood chatter, the filming location is believed to be a rented farmhouse-like set that was previously tied to earlier production work, possibly even connected to cancelled or paused Netflix-related projects. This idea quickly spread online because viewers noticed a pattern: different backgrounds, inconsistent aesthetics, and a noticeable lack of continuity with what people expected from her actual Montecito residence. Some industry sources, at least as described in online commentary spaces, claim that Archewell has shifted away from being a traditional production entity and is now functioning more like a branding layer attached to whatever projects can still generate revenue. In those discussions, Archewell is described less as a functioning creative hub and more as a label structure, something that exists on paper and branding materials rather than as a fully active production powerhouse. Claims circulating online also suggest that the original production company structure has been heavily reduced over time, with staff cuts, restructuring, and major operational changes being part of the ongoing evolution. At the same time, the charitable side of the organization is described in these conversations as significantly scaled back compared to its earlier public-facing ambitions. This has led commentators to argue that the entire system now revolves around selective projects, branding deals, and product-driven ventures rather than long-term institutional work. A major point of discussion online is the as-ever product line itself, which critics describe as heavily stocked but not widely visible in mainstream retail spaces. Some viral commentary claims warehouses are filled with unsold inventory, including jam products, candles, and lifestyle goods that have yet to find a consistent consumer base. These claims are often exaggerated in tone online, but they continue circulating as part of a broader narrative about commercial performance and public reception. Then the story shifts sharply into family dynamics, where a separate controversy began gaining traction, involving Charles Spencer, Princess Diana's brother. According to widely shared online discussion threads, Charles Spencer recently married in Arizona, an event that allegedly took place relatively quietly and without major public attention. What sparked intense reaction online was the claim that Prince Harry was not invited to this wedding, despite the strong historical connection between him and his maternal family. This detail quickly escalated in commentary spaces because Charles Spencer is not just any relative. He's often described as one of Harry's closest remaining links to Princess Diana's side of the family. He's also the same figure whose surname, according to long-circulating rumors, Harry and Meghan were once said to have considered adopting or aligning more closely with. He is frequently referenced in emotional interviews and memoir-related discussions as a symbolic bridge to Diana's legacy and memory. So the idea that he reportedly married in the United States, within driving distance of Montecito, without inviting Harry or even informing him directly beforehand, became a major talking point online. According to these narratives, Harry only became aware of the wedding after it was already publicly reported, which intensified the framing of distance and exclusion. Commentators online quickly labeled this as more than a simple family scheduling issue, instead interpreting it as another sign of emotional separation and fractured trust. Some even described it in extreme terms as exile, a word that spread rapidly through comment sections and reaction videos. In this framing, the Spencer family itself becomes part of a broader story of shifting loyalties and changing relationships over time. Online users began arguing that if even Diana's closest relatives are stepping back or distancing themselves, it signals something deeper than typical family disagreements. From there, the narrative loops back to the viral hallway image involving the nanny and the children, which continues to be heavily reinterpreted. Viewers online repeatedly analyze the body language in that photo, especially the positioning of Princess Charlotte behind the nanny figure. The nanny is described in commentary as a stabilizing presence, someone standing firmly in a protective role between adults and children during a tense moment. That interpretation has been repeatedly reinforced in viral breakdowns, even though the original context of the photo remains widely debated and not fully confirmed. Then the timing of Meghan's post becomes another focal point in online discussion. Observers claim that the image was shared during a period when the royal family was experiencing a wave of positive public attention, including official events, engagements, and sporting successes. According to this interpretation, every time the Wales family receives favorable media coverage, something else emerges online that shifts attention back toward controversy. This perceived pattern has been described by commentators as deliberate timing, though no verified evidence supports intent behind post-scheduling. Still, the idea continues to spread because it fits neatly into the larger narrative being built across social media platforms. As a result, comment sections under related videos have become highly charged, with users debating intent, interpretation, and meaning behind every visual detail. Some commenters have even escalated their language into concerns about safety and boundaries, urging increased protection for royal children. Others push back against those interpretations, arguing that online speculation is amplifying ordinary images into exaggerated narratives. But the more the discussion grows, the more each side becomes entrenched in its own interpretation of the same set of visuals and claims. Within all this noise, the figure of Nanny Maria is repeatedly referenced as a symbol of protection and loyalty within the royal household structure. She is portrayed in commentary as someone entrusted with safeguarding children in highly sensitive environments, always positioned close when situations require stability. Her presence in the hallway image is therefore treated by some viewers as significant, even symbolic, within the broader online storytelling ecosystem. And that is why this single image, combined with timing and unrelated rumors, continues to circulate as part of a much larger, evolving narrative. Because every new claim, every reposted photo, and every timing coincidence gets folded into an expanding online story that refuses to settle. And now, as this latest wave of discussion continues, viewers are being pushed toward yet more claims, more theories, and more hidden details that supposedly connect everything together in ways no one fully agrees on yet. Comment and subscribe.